Hey, what is up, everyone? Thank you for all your tweets and likes and your interest in the landing page engine concept that I recently put into place. And so there's a few caveats and requirements. First, you need to be using Webflow. For this tutorial, you don't need to be an expert Webflow user, but you may need to be slightly familiar with the interface. And you also don't need to be a professional designer. Webflow is very user friendly in terms of drag and drop. You can also clone UI elements from other projects directly into yours. And so we're going to be talking about that today. And also, this had a really specific use case for me, but you can use it for many, many different things. So my specific use case was I really wanted to scale up our Google Ads account, and we were using single keyword ad groups, which is a best practice, right? And for each ad in that ad group, I needed a landing page so that the copy on the landing page matched the copy of the ad, which matches the keyword. So Google Ads people will understand what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with this concept, there are a few videos online. I really recommend Conversion XL as a place to learn. That's where I learned everything I know about Google Ads, but that's kind of an aside. So this concept will actually allow you to create any kind of landing page at scale. It involves building a landing page template. It involves building a CMS collection, and it involves importing a CSV. So it's really only 3 steps that you need, and you can create, tons of pages in a very short amount of time. So we're going to start. I'm logged into my Webflow account. This is my resume CV type of page. You do need an account that allows you to have a CMS collection. So there's caveat 1. So we're going to start by clicking over into the CMS panel, and we're going to create a new collection. And there are some starter templates. You could probably just start with a blog post one if you wanted to, but we're going to build ours from scratch since it's fairly specific. There's also a limit on the amount of fields that you can have in a collection, which is 30, and you don't need 30 to build a really simple landing page. So first we need to give it a name. I'm going to call it landing pages, surprise. So plural version, landing pages, you can edit that. Singular version, landing page, you can change that as well. You can also change the collection URL. So I just keep it simple, LP, so it'll be your URL /LP / the actual slug of the page that you're creating. All right, so what we need is an H1, right? So the help text, this is the largest copy at the top of page, aka the headline. You can make it multiple line, you can make it single line. It really doesn't matter. The control of how that looks is going to be on the template page. You may also need some more text, and we're going to keep this really simple for the purpose of this tutorial. Multiple line text, and we just want it to be, let's call it intro text. Now you can also build images into this as well, and then in CSV all you need is the URL of the image. That's the level up if you want. So for example, when I did this at my day job, I had an intro video that was right beside the H1, and I was able to just take my Wistia or YouTube URL and include it in the CSV, and every time it updated the landing page, it changed out the video to the corresponding one. So if you want to level this concept up, you can do stuff like that, but we're going to keep this really simple, right? I'm only going to include these couple of fields. So let's add one more field though. We want the CTA to just be a button, right? So let's call it CTA button. Here on the CTA, and we're going to make that single line because a CTA should be short on a button. And then what we're going to do is add a link. We're going to call it CTA file. This is the URL for your offer. So we're just going to put a bunch of URLs in the CSV, and it's going to populate this. So just to review the fields that we have for each CMS item, what you can think is anytime you add a CMS item, you're going to be adding a landing page that have these fields. So the name of the landing page, the slug, which happens automatically, the H1 at the top, the intro text, the CTA button, and the file that you're linking to. All set. Create collection. You can add 5 items as a sample. If you want to do that, you're just going to have to delete everything, so I really don't want to do that. But what we can do is use this link that says create a new landing page, and then you could start typing in. So even if you didn't want to do a CSV import, you could scale this really easily, right? So offer one. This is great. You need it. Seriously, you need to try this. And CTA, try it now. You know, you can drag a file here, or you can browse for a file. If you're going to do a CSV upload, you already need a URL. Now, the reason I wanted to do that is because I need some data to design the page around. So the next step is designing the template. So you're going to go to Pages, and as you can see, Landing Pages template was already created. This is why you want to start with what you need on the page first, create the CMS, and then Webflow will create the template for you. So all you have to do is click this. It's a blank page, so you have a blank slate here. And so what you're going to be doing is, let's see, first I need my nav. I already have that saved. I'm going to put that back up at the top there. The next thing that I need is my footer. I'm just going to drag that down so you can see the structure of the page now is just, you know, the nav and the footer. I need to put something in the middle. And so just for the basics of this, I'm not going to go through an expert level design class, but thinking about the things that we need on the page that we added a heading. All right, that's my H1. You can give it any CSS classes that you want, change it all around. I also added some intro text, and I also added a CTA button, and we have CTA text, which comes from also the CMS collection. So first we need to tell Webflow that we want it to get this heading from the landing pages collection. Then we tell it the field. So I want this to be the H1. So there's the sample data I entered earlier. I'm going to repeat this process. We're going to tie this to the intro text. And on the button, we're going to tie the URL from landing pages, which we don't have any fields at the moment, but we're still going to do that anyway. And we need to get the text from landing pages as well. So CTA button, which is plain text. So there you can see it loaded my try it now as well. This is also where you can start playing around with design as well. So I already have some button classes created. You know, you really want to work out the design of this again, but this is just a demo. So now you have your template and you have a collection. And so how do you get all of the landing pages that you need? So let's just publish this for a second. I can go to my landing pages CMS collection. There's my offer. It's been published. I can actually see it if I want to. And a new tab here. Great. So really basic, right? Well, how can we really scale this up and turn it into an engine for advertising or anything else that you need a bunch of landing pages quickly for? Well, Webflow will allow you to import a CSV to populate any CMS collection, which is insane. So if you're moving to Webflow from another system, you can export a CSV of your blog posts, import them into here. But here's a real cool way to use it in an alternate way. And so in your CSV, in your header rows, you want to name them to the corresponding CMS fields, right? And so we're going to keep this really simple. I'm going to create 5 landing pages, and I already uploaded a file. I already have the URL, and I just actually want to use that same one for demonstration purposes. So let's see here, one too many, got it. Now, the name is what you want your keyword to be, right? I teach marketing, and so I want to say newsletters for marketers, or ads for marketers, etc. Tutorials for marketers, blah, blah, blah. So we're just going to do that and say Webflow for marketers. Those are the keywords that I would be buying on ads, or any way you want to make sense of it. This is going to end up being your slug, so just remember that. So your H1, looking for newsletters and then obviously I'm really just going to do this, looking for ads for marketers. Oh God, okay. Looking for ads, looking for tutorials, looking for Webflow. Got it. There's my headline for each page. Now I'm in intro text. We got it here for you. Download below. I'm going to make that the same for all of them. CTA button. I'm going to vary this, trying out. So I miscounted. We're actually going to be making 4 web pages. Anyway, so I'm going to save my CSV. Then all I need to do is import, drag my file or upload it, either one. Confirm you have a header row. Everything is mapped here. And then we're going to say map to existing field here, and we're going to map to the CTA URL. So remember, our CSV had a URL in each one. And so now we're going to import the landing pages, right? We've mapped all of our fields. Here's the preview. And then all I have to do is hit import for landing pages. Webflow is going to process the CSV, however many rows that you have on there. It's then going to stage all of your pages for publishing. So all you need to do is publish your site. You now have all of these landing pages published. Each one has its own URL, which you can just copy here, right? So as an example, here's the Webflow for marketers page. Here's my newsletters for marketers page. Just copy and show you another URL. So look, newsletters for marketers, the copy all matches, the CTA matches, the intro text matches. And so with this system, you can really build out a ton of pages at scale. One thing to be cautious of is be really thoughtful about the design of the template page, because once you start creating landing pages at scale, you're going to want to make sure that it's a really flexible design and can accept a bunch of different text. But yeah, hopefully you found this helpful. Once again, my name is Jordan. My Twitter is @DJForge. I have a website, which is a newsletter for marketers. I just send quick tips every week. It's forgematic.com. As you can see, I also have my resume and coaching available at hirejordan.co. And yeah, if you have any Webflow tips or need help with Webflow yourself, just let me know. I'm happy to help.